Hey folks, Roland Martin here. Hey, you know me as a bass fisherman, but I'm a pretty good turkey caller and turkey hunter as well. Now it's a cold, cold day. It's so cold today that you can't bass fish. It's like 42 degrees, and here in South Florida, I was gonna go bass fishing, but with it as cold as it is, hey, today is the day to make turkey calls. And let me just talk about turkey calls for a second. Okay, now this Neil Cost box call is probably $5,000 call. Okay, that's that one. This is one I made. It's actually louder, but anyway, it's I've made 250 of these Neil Cost lookalikes. They're Roland Martin calls, but they're pretty much identical. If you look at them, I mean, there's not much difference at all. The only difference is he went in and he autographed the call to me, to Roland Martin, okay? And so then what I do when I give them away, I make them and I autograph my name and what kind of wood it is and when I made it. And this call, well, this is my own personal call, but today I'm gonna make my grandson's some calls. I have Jacob, he's 21, he wants a turkey call autographed and ready to go. And my other grandson is Reed, and he's also in college, and he's 20 years old, and he wants a turkey call. So my goal today is to make him a couple turkey calls. I don't know how much I'll get done. Okay, first step of making a turkey call. First, we got to get the wood. Let's come over here to the wood. Okay, let's talk about wood. Now here is all sorts of different wood. There's about 10 different kinds of wood. Walnut is a great, great wood. I've made some walnut calls. Sometimes I'll make the smaller calls out of walnut, and they're very high pitched, and they're very, very good and loud. I have things like eucalyptus that grows in my own backyard. I have things like poplar, which is a very common wood. They use that a lot. I have wood like, this is buttonwood. This is like the hardest wood in the whole world. It's like from the Everglades. And then there's wood like this one here. This is acacia. Acacia wood is, I make bowls out of it. You see me making bowls and it grows all around my yard. It's real hard wood and it makes a good call. I got the butternut. This is the butternut. Now the butternut is what Neil Cost uses for many of his calls, and it's real hard to get. But one day Ronnie Curry and I were on Johnny Morris's property doing some turkey hunting, this some 20 years ago, and we found 2 butternut trees. And we cut one of them down. I didn't tell Johnny. He has all kind of property. He never even knew what he had. And so we cut this tree down and it had great big logs, and we hauled it up the hill, and now I've been cutting this up, and I've made about 150 calls out of the butternut that I cut off of Johnny Morris's property in Missouri some 20 years ago. So anyway, I'm going to take this piece of wood out to my other shop, and I'm going to sand it down and get it ready to put in the lathe or put it in my mill. Let's go out there. You know, here's my shop, and I make all kind of bowls, and I was telling you about, just a minute ago, I was telling you about this acacia wood. And see, this is the acacia wood that I make bowls out of. And that's all really heavy duty bowls. These things are really cool. These are big old bowls, and they're made out of that acacia wood. It's extremely hard wood. So it makes a really kind of cool bowl. Okay, let's take this planer, and this is all rough. So let's turn it on, it's gonna be loud, and plane it off smooth. See, it's completely smooth now. It's just regular, ready to go. And so I'll put it in the bottom of my lathe, and I'll do the other side as well. Well, here's my old Bridgeport mill. This is a classic old Bridgeport mill built years and years ago. Still rock solid. I'm going to put it in this vise real quick and just kind of tighten it up a little bit, okay? Then I'm going to raise it up a little bit. And then I'm going to, this is really a classic old lathe, a mill. Let's see, I'll get it where it's all okay. Let me measure this depth right here, and it's 1.2 inches deep. So I'm going to cut it 1.3 inches deep. This is the original cost call, Neil cost call. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to come down an inch, 0.3. Okay, now I'm down an inch, 0.3. Now I need to turn it slowly. Take it out of the mill and look at it. Well, okay. Now, what we notice is that there's this wall is still quite a bit of the Neil cost wall is quite a bit thinner, so so I can take a little bit off this side, but I can take a lot off this side. There's a couple ways of doing this. I can do it either I might want to do it on the sander. And again, what I'll do with the sander is I gotta sand it so that, and I don't want to hit this side yet. So let's just turn it on. Okay, I'll have to go one step farther. I'm going to come right back here. I'm going to make that cut. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting close. It's still rough. You know, every turkey call is different. You know, it's not a CNC deal. I can't make it exactly the same as Neil's. He makes no two the same. No turkey call sounds exactly like the other turkey call. I'll try to come close and I'll try to get the right tones, but who knows how it's going to turn out. In general, when I make 10 turkey calls, I'll get about 2 or 3 of them that are really good. Then there's 2 or 3 or 4 that are medium, and then there's a couple that are awful. They're too low and they just don't make any sound that's right at all, because there's different grain. Let me explain. See, I've cut this out of grain, but the grain might be a little different in the next piece of wood. And the grain makes a big difference as far as the tone. So no two turkey calls are the same. Okay, let's get going here. Well, I'm almost there. I don't want to go too much with the sides. The sides are still about 1/10 of an inch thicker than they need to be, but that's the tuning process. What I'll do now is go make the lid and attach the lid to it and start tuning it up. Okay, what I have here now is this body is butternut. That's a very light wood. It's not a hardwood at all. But this is walnut. And that's what Neil makes. His top is walnut and his bottom is butternut. So I have these strips of walnut that I cut about 15 years ago. And I'm going to, now I'm going to place it on this lid. And I'm going to just cut the lid down according to this. Okay, I'm just going to come around this thing. And I'm going to come around this way, and I'm going to come around this way, and I come around this way, and come around this way. And so I have to sand it in a taper. Let me just show you this. This lid is actually beveled. It's thinner on the sides and thicker in the middle. and thinner, so I have to do that with the sander. Again, every lid's going to be different because it's going to have a different thickness. It's all hand done. So everything's going to have a different tone. Okay, let's cut this out, and I'll start sanding it. Okay, I'm going to take my orbital sander and just kind of finish it off. This is a nice smooth finish. Well, that lid is beveled, and it should be just about right. But again, they're all different. Now, a little hand sanding. Again, like I say, you know, every turkey call is a little different than the next. And hopefully, I'll get a good tune out of it. But there's a couple more steps after I've actually cut it down to tune it. Then I'm going to finish it with the urethane finish. And then finally, when it finally sounds really right, if it does sound really right, then I'll autograph it like Neil Cost's call right here. And I'll sign it to my my two grandsons. Well, I'll make them each one. Okay, get this hole up. This what I'm drilling on now is a real hard walnut, really a hard walnut. We'll see what happens with that. See if that goes in. And we'll see, I doubt if it's going to even make a sound. Usually when you put these things together for the first time, they don't do good. There's a lot of adjustment you have to do. Now see, by loosening this up, I get a different position. Now, what I can do, there's a couple ways to thin that wall. To get the sound to the right level that we want, there's really two things that are going to have to happen. Number one, there's an issue with the finish. The finish is going to actually make the sound higher. So what I might do now, I might just go ahead and urethane the inside, and that will stiffen it up a little bit and make the sound a little bit higher. And then after that dries, after the urethane dries, then I'll start sanding this down, and still have it, I'll get the level about right. Now also, it's not that. I'm not gonna have to sand it that much, because I'm gonna have to round it off. I'll round this off, and I might just be able to hand sand it to the point where it's gonna sound good. I'm getting close. Anyway, that's how I make a turkey call, and it's a lot of hard work, and every call is different. I've made 260 of them over the last 25 years. It's just a fun thing that I do, but I've called in over 300 turkeys to a box call. So some of them on the Neil Cost call and some of them on my own call, but anyway, I've killed quite a few turkeys. So folks, anyway, I know it's a cold day and I can't do my bass fishing. At least I make a turkey call. So I just want to tell you that right now that it's there's just a lot of different outdoor endeavors that I just enjoy. I enjoy deer hunting, I enjoy elk hunting, I enjoy bear hunting, I enjoy bass fishing, I enjoy saltwater fishing. I'm a scuba diver. I've done everything. and it's just fun being on the outdoors. And I really appreciate you guys watching, you girls watching, and I love doing these YouTube little snippets. And hey, I hope you learned something about how to build a turkey call. We'll see you again soon, and hey, thanks for watching.